Corbin Weathers, the 2020 Spreading Kindness Scholarship recipient from Gateway High School. He's a self-described outdoors junkie, enjoying all kinds of outdoor recreation. He's planning to further his education by attending Lane Community College and seeking a degree in computer science. Now, Corbin intends to continue working at FedEx while in school to help support himself. When it comes to kindness, Corbin delivers. Just take a look at his inspirational talk.
My name is Corbin Weathers. I'm an 18-year-old. I'm just about to graduate from Gateway High School. I'd like to apologize for my hair, my shirt. I just got off my job at FedEx. I'd like to also apologize for poor sound quality. I got some loud computers and fish tanks in my room. And I'd really like to thank Ted for this amazing opportunity. This is something I've wanted to do for a very long time, and I'm very grateful for the platform I can do it on. And without further ado, here are some thoughts of mine on kindness. Growing up, I was told many things about kindness. It was an attitude drilled into my head at a very young age. Many of you were probably given the same talks and were presented with the same rules. No hitting, lying, arguing, cursing, insulting, cheating, and many more. Personally, I failed to follow many of these rules more than once, but as a kid does, I learned. It took me some time to see why these rules should be abided by and why they made sense. It was hard to follow them when the people around me weren't either, especially when the rules were being broken against me. I was a target, a victim of bullying from a young age. I was a scrawny, attitudinal kid with an abundant amount of energy and some behavioral disorders that surfaced too soon and were not identified soon enough. I was fighting a war on two fronts. One at school against my bullies, and the other against my first-time parents that didn't have the tools to understand why I acted this way or even why I was being bullied. I lashed out a lot. I got in the most trouble for letting loose my rage and sadness on other people. So I did the thing that at the time seemed to have no consequence. I turned that anger, that sadness, that empty feeling, and turned it upon myself like a priest committing self-flagellation. I internalized it all, lighting the fuse to a bomb that had no designated time of explosion. I battled these antagonists within myself and outside of my person for as long as I could remember. Yet it was never the other people that were the enemy. It was never the problems and complications. It was always me. I was the enemy. Now in my current position, I have a hard time understanding how I could be so cruel to the only person I can call me. I find it hard to understand how I believed that lifestyle was rational or how it was beneficial. I was blinded by poor judgment and thought process. I took an easy route and just blamed everything on myself. It was such a normal thing for me, and sadly it was a normal thing for my age group and culture. I gave myself the short end of the stick always and expected nothing beyond that. I wanted to prove to myself that I was everything I thought I was. I wanted to be the failure I told myself I was. It was a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like being in a tunnel and you can see the light ahead of you and you want to get there, but you're walking the other way on purpose. You're forcing yourself to fail and you know it, but you don't care. It seems like it's the only way though, that your cruelty is the only thing that can drive you forward, because love is cliche and soft. It's embarrassing. But no matter how much you think love isn't, it's one of the only ways to lead yourself in the direction you want to go. It took me too long to see my whole situation differently, to treat myself differently and learn to forgive, to treat myself with kindness and to accept that I can fail. I don't think you understand how much that sentence means to me. I can fail. Learning to simply say, I can fail, and moving on to the next thing is one of the greatest things you can do for yourself. One of the kindest things you can do for yourself. Taking your failures with a little bit of pride and a little bit of humor. I'm not saying it's easy or that it will come to you overnight. It's going to be difficult, especially if you form the habit of being cruel to yourself like I have. Learning to be kind to yourself is more important than it may seem. It's so important because no one else in the world is stuck with you for the rest of your life but you. Nobody knows your hardships, who you are, and what you've accomplished. You're the first person that matters always. Think of yourself as the person you love the most. In my situation, I would never wish the terrible things on the person I love the most as I did myself. I could never think or say the things I said to the person I love the most. So how is it fair for anyone to treat themselves like this? Brainwashing yourself and torturing yourself, no matter how bad you hurt inside, will never make yourself feel better. For as long as I was trapped within myself with all my hate, all I wanted was to be free. But every time I insulted myself and wished harm upon myself, I only distanced myself further from being free, and it gradually got worse. The more you do it, the more it grows and gains severity. Finally, you make a decision to silence everything. A rash, stupid decision, just to escape the pain. I see this problem all around me wherever I go, whether it be at school, when I'm online, or I'm out in the community. There's this disgusting thick cloud of pain that I can't blow away, a cloud suffocating my peers and the youth of the world. The young people of this world are not able to reach out and pull themselves free from suffocating. The youth being forced to suffer in this pain they don't know how or have the tools to fight, treating themselves savagely because they are convinced they have to. I wish I could help everyone that needs it. I know their pain and I know what it's like to feel like you can never be free of it. But there's only so much other people can do for you when you're stuck in the situation I was. All I can advise is that you take your time out of your day, every day, at least once, to remind yourself how important you are. Think about your failures instead of just basking in the feeling of that failure resonates and the emotions that it stimulates, and move forward. Take yourself with humor and pride and do the same with your shortcomings and failures. Try to think at least one thing positively about yourself whenever you can. Know that no one else can be as kind to you as you can. Remember that you deserve your own love and kindness. You don't have to force yourself to suffer to drive yourself to success. You can have all the love and joy in the world if you just find it within yourself. Never listen to anyone who tells you differently. Everyone deserves to find kindness within themselves. So do yourself a favor and open up your heart to yourself. It's one of the only ways to be free. Thank you.